What's up guys, Axis here and I'm back with a new tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create an Anisotropy metal inside Octane, one of the development builds, which you can find by going to OTOY downloads, going to the bottom, and you should be able to find plugin development releases. And there you go, easy peasy, and you can get one of the new development releases, which is kind of buggy sometimes, but you've got some really cool new features which I'll be trying to do some more tutorials on. First off, I want to shout out Landscape Essentials, which includes 50 8K height maps. Each landscape includes a texture map, normal map, and a height map, and it's all 45% off until January 15th, so not long now. Check it out in the link in the top right or in the description for a full rundown of the features and even more beautiful renders. Let's get into this tutorial. So I'm going to copy over my HDRI, just bring this into this new scene, and we're going to make a disk. So if we go up to our primitives and grab a, lost track of it, there it is. You need to turn the segments up quite high because Octane seems to look a bit weird when you don't have the segments high on these materials. So I'm going to go 100, send it out to the live viewer, and we can go and create a material. Now you see all these new options. We've got metal material, so go in here and we're going to change the BRDF model to GGX, which is used for metals. If you've used any other renderer, like even the standard renderer has it, you'll know. But now we have to just go and look up the refractive index of aluminium, get the refractive index and the coefficient. So there's my refractive and there's my coefficient. And now if I turn up the roughness, you should see a beautiful metal appear once I add it to the disk. There we go. And now I'm going to go into the Anisotropy and I'm going to change this to 0.52. You can mess around with this, but that's just what I had it at. You won't see any difference right now. Maybe if I turn up the roughness, you'll be able to see what it does. But there you go, you see it. You see it's working its magic now. But we're going to add a noise to this in a minute. So let's get started and open up the node editor. If you're not familiar with the node editor, get used to it. It's a great feature, and it's really easy to see everything that's going on with your material through this method. So first off, let's go and grab a noise. So this one here, and I'm going to go and change the settings in here first. So we're going to do 16 on the octaves, and on the gamma we are going to do 1.4 and 0.23 on the contrast. Pipe this into our roughness and you see something's happening. Not really what we're going for. Looks a bit cloudy at the moment, so we're just going to grab projection and transform. Pipe these into their relative inputs and change the projection to spherical. There we go. We've got the spherical look going, which is really nice. We're just going to leave all these settings blank other than that inside projection. Go into transform, whereas we're going to be scaling everything. So go in here and do 3.7. I'm going to leave 1. Actually, we need to uncheck lock aspect ratio 3.7, and then I'm going to do 0.35. And that's my settings that I was using. As you can see, we have this nasty seam going through it. And there's two ways to fix this. The lazy way is to just drag this all the way up to 1000, which gets rid of all those nice little inconsistencies that we had with this noise, which kind of defeats the purpose of using a noise. So the way I fixed this was actually by mixing two of these. So if I duplicate this, I'll show you what I do. Put this into the roughness, go into our texture projection, I believe, and 180, which will flip the seam to the other side. Now if we mix these two by grabbing a mix shader, putting these both into 1 and 2, into roughness, and they've mixed perfectly at this point, which is not what we want. We want to grab a gradient, and we want to get a radial gradient, which is not updated, so I'm just going to reopen it. Oh, it went away. Basically what we need is we need the options for the gradient as well. So if we go and grab a gradient again, change it to radial, it didn't do it again. I guess I'll put this into roughness. There we go. Okay. And then just drag all these out. We don't need transform, just delete that. Well, did that actually do anything? Never mind, didn't do anything. So go in here, and it's already set to spherical, which is what we want. And go into sine wave and change this to triangle, and it'll get rid of that seam there. And you can see we have this nice fade here, which will, you see where this is going, it's going to fade both of them together. And that's it. That's pretty much how you do the roughness of this material. Now we're going to be moving on to the rotation, which is actually a pretty interesting part. Another pointer is that you can actually pipe this into the bump and turn down some of the settings, because obviously it's pretty strong. But you can get a good look by doing this as well. So let's just drag all these out of the way so we have a little bit more room to work, and grab a noise again. So let's have a look. See if I can remember. There we go. So noise, put this into rotation. We're going to grab a texture projection. Again, we're going to put this on spherical. And the settings of the noise I used, 1 on octaves, 0 on omega. It doesn't matter, omega doesn't do anything unless you have octaves, so you can leave that whatever you want. And the gamma I turned down to 0.88, pretty low. And leave the contrast. And now in the texture projection, we're going to be turning the X all the way up, the Z all the way up. And that's what gets us this beautiful result. The Y doesn't do anything, but I did actually turn it up to 22, but it doesn't do anything. And the way you actually phase through these is you go into the noise and you can mess around with the gamma. And as you can see, we're getting some nice results here. Just choose whatever you want. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it now. Some other pointers as well, other different points, is that the rotation might actually have a seam in it sometimes. I brought it onto a cylinder and it had a seam. So the way you can fix that is just by doing the same method here with the mixed texture. Or you can do just flip the seam and see if it fixes it by going into projection and putting the X to 180. Yeah, that's only if you're using a cylinder. If you did enjoy this tutorial, remember to smash that like button down below. If you got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll try and help you out as best I can. And don't forget to check out Landscape Essentials, 45% off until January 15th. And I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.